What's up, gamer? Welcome to the first Ark video on this channel. Today we're talking about the 7 reasons you should add Ark Survival Evolved to your collection. Long intro sucks, so let's not waste any more time and jump right into it. Building an Ark is surprising. What I mean by that is it's both challenging and extremely rewarding to complete a build in Ark. The sheer amount of resources it takes to make something truly impressive is staggering. A simple dino pen could take you an hour of resource collection to complete, but that's what's so fun about it in my opinion. Ark is a very realistic game. It doesn't hold your hand in any way, and it attempts to simulate the real world as much as possible. If you wanted to make a foundation for a house in real life, you can imagine it would take a hefty amount of supplies to do so. Ark is no different. The fact that it's so realistic is both annoying and immersive at the same time. You wouldn't want to build an entire house by yourself in real life, but Ark makes it possible through the wonders of video games. Grab a dino, collect some stuff, bring it home, and make magic happen. How do you think these guys did it? Creative mode? Real OGs don't build in create. Actually, no, they probably did it in creative. Ark is a difficult game. You have to play smart to get anywhere, which makes it feel really good when you succeed. It's super easy to be a noob in this game, and there's a lot to learn. Simply punching a tree and gathering berries isn't enough to survive on the Ark. You'll need wits, cunning, strategy, and the ability to learn from your mistakes to succeed. The environment alone is enough to kill you over and over, forcing you to start with nothing but your naked body. But when you figure out how to survive the dangerous conditions you've been placed in, the game immediately becomes one of the most rewarding survival games ever made. From battling hunger and dehydration to running from fearsome dinos, the Ark can be a cruel place if you're not careful. It's surprisingly easy to kill yourself from explosives or by trying to fight a dino that's way out of your league. Just don't be an idiot and everything will be smooth, yeah? Cool. When it comes to survival, Ark does it better than anyone else in my opinion. I mean, after all, it is Ark Survival Evolved, right? The way the game forces you to manage stamina, weight, torpor, and all the other things it requires you to juggle make the game feel enveloping and unique. It's astonishing how quickly you can die from starvation or dehydration on the Ark, and the game pushes you to think quickly to find these resources fast, or die trying. Aside from the typical food and water bars on the heads-up display, it's actually possible to catch diseases, pass out from heat stroke, fall asleep from eating too many sleep-inducing narco berries, and many other interesting ailments that may fall upon you during your journey on the Ark. It's important to set up a home base in order to survive, but don't put all your eggs in one basket. With the Ark having such a harsh environment and ruthless PvP on official servers, it's possible to lose your entire base in just a few minutes, so keeping some small caches of items throughout the map can be a really great way to stay on your feet if a player does end up destroying everything you worked so hard to accumulate. Which is why it's a really great idea to have your own dino friends protecting you and your hard work, which leads us to number 4. Wildcard really did their research when developing this game. A vast majority of the dinos you'll find on the Ark are dinos that actually lived on the Earth at one point in time, and their character models are as close to historically accurate as possible. Yes, there are T-Rexes and Triceratops, but there are also historically interesting dinos like the Ankylosaurus, who specializes in gathering metal in Ark and f***ing shit up, and the Quetzal that can act as a flying base and carry your favorite dinos with it. Taming a dino is a process though. Knock out the dino you're trying to tame, give it its favorite food, and when it wakes up, it's your friend. You can destroy almost anything with it after that. The quickest way to a dino's heart is through food. To be honest, survival on the Ark for any long period of time is impossible without having some dinos around to help you collect, carry, and store resources. If you've played Ark before, you know that those alpha tribes didn't become alphas just by using bows and arrows. Who doesn't want their own personal army of raptors? Surely you could climb to the top with a pack of raptors, right? Why wouldn't you want 14 Rexes beside you while you ride the most powerful dino you have? I mean, look at all those chickens. Not only can you tame your personal army of dinos, but you can and should breed them and raise your own dino babies into the ferocious fighting machines you want them to be. Creating a somewhat customized personal army of dinos can oftentimes be the way to dominate those around you. The story. Yes, Ark has a story. and honestly it's one of the most confusing yet somehow truly fantastic stories I've seen in an open world survival sandbox adventure game. In my opinion, the best way to experience the story is by playing a single player world to entirely avoid the cruel world of Ark PvP, or by playing on a private server with some friends to make the journey through the Ark easier and more enjoyable. In fact, if you don't like PvP at all, single player is the way to go. You'll find explorer notes all over the map that give you 2x experience for 10 minutes, and it'll help explain a bit of the world around you, leading you closer to finding the reason you're on the Ark in the first place with a crystal in your arm, as well as cleverly explained loot crates that drop slowly from the sky. Discovering anything new about the story can be challenging though, since you have to beat terrifying bosses and collect a plethora of artifacts that you deposit in humongous floating obelisks around the map. Let's talk more about that in number 6. The bosses in Ark are some of the most menacing of any game to date. They're simple bosses like the Broodmother, a really big spider, and incredibly complicated bosses like Rockwell, this man thing with tentacles? Anyway, not only do you have to find several artifacts, as I mentioned before, but you also have to collect materials from high-level enemies throughout the world and input those materials into those obelisks. This usually teleports you and your tamed dinos around you to an area where you can make an attempt at killing these bosses. But honestly, they're no joke. If you don't take every precaution when fighting them, you'll be wiped out as easily as the corn you ate for dinner last night. Fighting these bosses has a genuine purpose, however, and that is to elaborate further on the story of Ark and unlock tech gear. Beat a boss, get a cutscene that explains the Ark. I don't want to give any spoilers, but everything will make sense when you finally beat a map. If you do want the story in chronological order, you have to beat the bosses from the first map released to the most recent map released. When people think of Ark, they typically think of naked characters running around with primitive spears and bows, running for their lives from the treacherous world around them. But Ark is so much more than that. The evolution system in Ark is truly magnificent in that you essentially evolve from a dumb caveman to someone with jetpacks and laser guns. Granted, this takes a significant amount of time depending on who you are, but the game is definitely more than people think it is. With each level you gain, you unlock engram points that you can spend on engrams, which are basically just blueprints for craftable items. As you progress, the engrams get more expensive, more advanced, and require more resources for a single item. Honestly though, it's well worth it since you have nearly unlimited possibilities for what you can create. Want to put laser guns on your Quetzal? Don't let your dreams be dreams, just do it! Tech gear isn't the only cool stuff to look forward to though. There are simple things like generators, elevators, oil pumps, cluster grenades, and not to mention a f***ing load of guns. ARs, combat shotguns, RPGs, high-powered snipers. There's a lot to look forward to on the Ark, you just have to experience it to find out. So what are you waiting for? This could be the next game you fall in love with, so why not give it a try? This is definitely a game I've personally fallen in love with, and I'm a pretty picky guy when it comes to video games. Have you played Ark? What would you have added to this list? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for your time today. A quick reminder that you can catch this content live on Twitch Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I would love to see you there. Links for that in the description. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you ended up making it this far. We'll see you in the next one.